How's it going, everybody? This is Roxas870, and today we are going to talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or Remake Part 2. And this is, in my opinion, one thing that Square needs to put in the remake. For Part 2, that is. And what that thing needs is you need the save data from Part 1 to carry over to Part 2. And, of course, Part 2 carry over to Part 3 whenever that eventually comes out in 2075. But the reason I say that, some people might, your argument could be, well, we're going to be too overpowered. We're going to be too high level. If you've played the original Final Fantasy VII, you can get pretty overpowered just in Midgar from training alone. I mean, I know whenever I play the original 7, I like being around level 30. Grinding it out till I get maybe around 20 or 30 before leaving Midgar. I like having a lot of mastered materia before leaving Midgar. Mainly lightning, because that's what I keep on Cloud at all times. But there's people like me who, I haven't platinumed the remake, the first part of it yet. But there's people, including a friend of mine, who have platinumed it, who have beaten it on hard mode, who've done New Game Plus 2, 3, 4, 5 times because they enjoy the game so much. And, I understand, apparently Square's talking about how, they want this to be, people's, first experience with 7. My thing with that is, a majority of the people that are playing 7, the remake, how many of us are really going to start with Part 2 and not play Part 1? That's ridiculous in my opinion. And you could, your argument could be, oh, well, there's some of us out there. Okay, cool. Well, then maybe for those few that are at this, that for some reason decide, hey, I'm going to play Part 2 instead of Part 1. Okay, you can have it to where, of course, if save data carries over, well, they're not going to have save data. So you can start them at, level 15 and give them some materia that maybe not, that's not maxed out. Maybe like a 2-star lightning materia, 2-star healing materia. You can give them something to start up, like the basic starting set you could give those people. But for people who are just really going at it with 7, you need to give us something. Because a lot of people are going to be pissed off if we get into the second part of Remake and all of our work we've put into the first part is just gone. It's like, what's the point? Because there's a lot like streamers. A lot of streamers are going to play, possibly Crisis Core, but that doesn't count in this scenario. But Part 1, then Part 2, and eventually in the distant future, Part 3. Save data should carry over. Everything you have, you should be allowed to take with you. I want my maxed out materia that I'm taking with me. Because, there's still more materia you can add in. There's still more, summon materia you can add. There's still more things you can do. And there's also, an argument can be said, well, we have the equipment. We're going to have maxed out equipment at the start of the game. But there's still more equipment to acquire. There's still more weapons to get. There's more swords for Cloud. You literally have his ultimate weapon that you can eventually get. You have different limit breaks. You have different abilities these weapons give. So, of course, you're not going to stick with the Buster Sword the entire game. You're going to switch to something new, even if it's weaker, because you want to get those abilities. You want to see what its max potential is going to eventually be. And like I said, I don't want to start the game and it's like, okay, I got a Buster Sword that is the minimum level. I'm playing as Cloud, who's all of a sudden back at level 10, 15, some crap, when my Cloud's, he's level 50. And I think one thing that can also help mitigate that is if you have hard mode from the start for people who have the save data from 7. So that way, yeah, your stuff's carrying over, but now you also have hard mode just to start right from the get-go. Because you've beaten Part 1, because you took the time to do that. And I've seen other people talk about, oh, well, to mitigate, everybody being overpowered, Yuffie steals your materia. That'd be kind of dumb in my opinion. Because, you know, how are you going to explain the level drop? Yuffie can't steal your levels. Yeah, she could take some materia. If Yuffie steals materia in Remake Part 2, in my opinion, the only materia she should realistically take is Leviathan, because we should not have the Leviathan materia right now, but we do. Bahamut, because we shouldn't have Bahamut right now, and apparently you can get Bahamut. Those two materia I could see being stolen by Yuffie, and along the way she loses the Bahamut materia, and of course Leviathan, you know, the guardian of Wutai. That makes sense that she would steal that. But everything else, no, don't take the equipment, don't take our levels. That's stupid in my opinion. People have invested too much time in this for Square just to say, fuck y'all. Y'all are back at level 7. That's stupid. That's stupid, and it defeats the purpose of all of that training people do. So that's what I think needs to happen. But along with that, another thing they could do is double your level for every disc, or for every part. So in part 2, level 100 will be the max level. Part 3, you can make it to where level 200 is the max level. Not only that, when it comes to, you might think, oh, well, we have a lot of HP. Final Fantasy games have been preaching that, you know, max HP used to be 9,999. And now you got games where you can get more than that. And I mean, in Crisis Core, you can get 99,999. And, 13, Snow gets over 10k HP, which, yeah, that's for the Sentinel build, but he keeps that stuff. So there's different things Square can implement, and it's not really going to, it's not going to be a detriment. What will be a detriment is you take away everybody's hard work that people like me have invested in the game. I mean, I've put maybe 30 hours in the game so far. I mean, in total, when I had the original, when it came out on PS4, I've maybe done 60 in total. But then you have other people who, they have put 100 hours into the game, 150 hours into the game, because that's how much they love the game. They want to keep replaying it, keep getting better, learning new techniques, getting stronger. And it would just be a spit in their face, just a spit in our face. The fans of Final Fantasy VII who enjoy the remake, I believe it'd just be a spit in our face if we lose everything we've already had. But that's just my opinion. What do y'all think? I want to know your opinions on this. That's what I think Final Fantasy VII Part 2 needs to have. Save data needs to carry over. So, thanks for watching. Catch y'all later.